Getting those steps in to start the day. I had every intention of filming some bits for you in the gym. I swear I did, every intention. But during my last gym session, I was on the story time. During my last gym session, I was on the Stairmaster at the end. Took my watch off because it was part of my cardio target for the week, and I thought, well, I can't have it as part of my step target at the same time because that just like counteracts each other. Took my watch off, left it on the Stairmaster. Realised as soon as I got home what I'd done. Rang the gym, said, left it, please can you keep it behind the reception? Said, yep, no worries, found it, all good. Got into the gym this morning, said, can I pick up my watch please? Guy looked at me with the blankest fucking face I've ever seen and said, can't find it. He'd looked for it. He'd rummaged in a drawer and he'd gone upstairs and asked a couple of people. He said, can't find it. I didn't say it, but I thought, well, that's a pretty fucking pricey watch. Can you try and find it? Because you said you had it. And he said, I'll put a message out, come back at the end of your session and we'll see if we've got it. I was like, okay, that's not filling me with the most hope, my darling, but I will do. Anyway, long story short, eventually they found it and I'm very grateful to be reunited with it 3 days later. So good morning, it's Friday and I'm taking you along with me for the day. So as you can see, today started with a relatively stressful gym session. Well, the gym session itself was pretty good. I was just a little bit distracted because I was thinking, oh, I really don't want to have to buy a new watch. Considering this one is still pretty new. I've only had it for what, 6-9 months maybe? But yeah, gym session done. Now I've got to go home, have a shower, get ready for the day. And I've got a client catch-up call in an hour. My camera got bored of me talking. No, it ran out of battery. Yeah, so just had that client catch-up call that I spoke about there, where we basically talk through sort of where they're at the moment, what progress they're making with the goals that we set in their previous call, or when they first came into the program, or whatever their focus is right now, sort of how well are we progressing towards those goals, those targets, and then mapping out the next few months for them. Or in Molly's case, we are mapping out the next 10 months because she gained a place on the London Marathon. So we were sort of mapping out what the next sort of phases would look like for between now and then, because she was having a bit of a panic about it. And I essentially said, we're going to forget about the marathon for now. Imagine you're not doing the marathon. We're going to focus on the 10-mile race that you've got booked in October. Then we're going to focus on a half marathon race, focus on that. And then we'll start having a little bit more of a think about the marathon after the half. So she's an absolute dream. I adore her. She's just such a wonderful person to work with. I feel so grateful to be her coach. And yeah, now we are getting stuck into some admin-y bits. So I've got a few automations that I need to adjust. I'm going to go over our 4-week free coaching template and just make a few tweaks that I think is necessary. Just a few adjustments, a few little things to make it a little bit better. And if you are interested, then I will leave the link to our 4-week free coaching template down below. So go and have a look at that if you are looking for a little bit of accountability, but don't want to spend a penny. And then I'll catch up with you a little bit later. So I'm locked in my spare room. Not even clickbait or a joke. I'm genuinely trapped in my spare room. I have never shut this door properly. Turns out you can't unless you don't want to get out again. And when I say I have tried everything, fuck. I've just rang Josh, he's at the office, which is about a 10-15 minute bus journey away, and he's coming home now to try and push against it from the other side. And I'm quite desperate for a wee. So praying to fuck that he can open it from the other side. Otherwise I'm fucked. Trying to see the funny side of it. Very much not working. I'll keep you updated. Okay, updates. Still trapped, still locked in my spare room. Tried ChatGPT, they were no fucking help. Josh is on his way, bless him, his director. he told his director that he had to leave, and his director said, oh, I'll give you a lift. So hopefully he will be right around the corner and get me out. We're out! Well, actually, I'm still technically in right now, but Josh got back and we're out. Freedom! Freedom awaits! And now I have to drive Josh back to work because his director said, I'll drop you off, but I have no idea how long you're going to be, so I won't wait for you. So now I'm dropping Josh back off to work. But we're out for free. As you can see, I tried every thin object that I had available to get the door open. And yeah, wasn't successful. But we're out. Josh is back at the office. I am back at the flat with the door firmly open for the rest of the day, / the rest of my time in this flat. And I am 10 minutes late to my accountant call because of the previous situation. So I'm gonna jump onto that, apologise profusely to Logan, my accountant, for being so late, and get on with the day. Okay, we are halfway through the day. So what have I done since I updated you? I had my accountant call, and then I've been adjusting my 4-week free coaching template, which I mentioned in the previous clip. And then off the back of that, I've then again adjusted a couple of automations that were already set up, one for our free running guide, and I've set another automation up for another free guide that we are in the process of releasing. We're just finessing it at the moment. So that's very exciting. So if you want to be in the know about all the releases that we do, all of the free guides that we offer and give out, then your best bet is to be on my email list. And again, I'll leave the link to that in the description. So get yourself on that if you want to be in the know when we release our next guides. I was trying to figure out how to give you a spoiler without spoiling it, but it's a very specific area of fitness, so I can't spoil it without spoiling it. Sorry, I can't give you a clue without spoiling it. But yeah, set up an automation for that, wrote out a few emails for that automation. Honestly, life of an online coach is 5 to 10% personal training work. Well, when you run the business it is anyway. 5 to 10% personal training work. Majority is sort of client communication, and a big wedge of the pie is client communication and support, and then a gigantic wedge is marketing, content, strategy development, launch phasing, figuring out tech. Like before I became an online coach, I had never written out an automation in my entire life, or structured it, or blah. It's a lot. So been doing that for the last couple of hours. I've just onboarded a new client. Well, she's not new, she's coming in off the back of Accelerate from our previous intake. Just onboarded her into one-to-one, which is great. So we're going to get her moving and grooving and becoming a fit fucking mama. She's got 2 beautiful, beautiful children. And she's also an amazing actress. And she just booked a job. She's Australian. She just booked a commercial job over in Australia, which is very exciting. And she said, and I pretty much quote verbatim, I would never have had the confidence to put myself up for something like that had I not been through Accelerate. And if that isn't the coolest thing in the world, I don't know what is. So just onboarded her. And now let me check my to-do list for the day. I've got to edit a couple of pieces of content that's going to go live over the weekend. And then I'm going to do I'm going to schedule my week out for next week. So this is something I do on a Friday, every single Friday, so that I can go into the weekend knowing I've fully planned out the week in advance. I can kind of switch off a little bit more. Normally I do a little bit of admin work, a little bit of content editing on a Saturday, but I can generally try and sort of switch off and prep for the new week over the weekend because I have scheduled on a Friday. And I'm going to take you through that process when I get to it. But I think before I do, I'm going to make some lunch because it is 1 o'clock and I'm hungry, even though I had breakfast really late because of the whole locking myself in the office drama. So I'm going to do that and then I'll get back to you. Just need to take a moment for these absolute beauties that I picked up last Sunday, which are thriving. Absolutely stunning. And I'm just gonna have some lunch, and I'm having some leftovers from a dinner that we made a couple of nights ago. It's from Emily English's second book. We absolutely adore Emily English and all of her recipes. They kind of make up like 80% of our dinners most weeks, to be honest. And we made the prawn saganaki orzo the other day. And the thing about Emily English, her portion sizes are absolutely mental. This says it serves 2, but we had like a good 3 servings out of the portion that we made the other night. So I'm gonna have the leftovers of that, and it made 3 servings, but we ate all the prawns when we ate it for dinner. So I'm gonna top it with some leftover chicken. I buy these like seasoned chicken packs, pre-cooked chicken packs every week, probably at least 2 of them a week, and get through them because they're just really easy to chuck on top of like leftovers like this, which are pure carbohydrates and veg, and you know, need some protein to go along with it, so I'll just chuck some of that on top. Doesn't really make much sense, but does the job. So that is my lunch. Gonna chuck a little bit of feta on it as well, and I'm very excited. Just had a thought as I'm eating my lunch. I'm setting up a little schedule of fringe shows that we want to see this year. So obviously this is my first time where I'll be living in Edinburgh during the Fringe rather than coming up to visit for a few days. I've got my pick of the month. I can go see a show whenever the fuck I want. So exciting. We've got a few friends coming up at the start of August. We've got a couple of shows booked in then, but I want to hear some recommendations, some suggestions for people who are either local to Edinburgh and have shows that they see on rotation every single year without fail. The one that I see every single year without fail is the improvised musical. Absolutely brilliant every single time. And yeah, if you've got any suggestions, if you're in a show that you would recommend coming to see, or you've got a friend in a show that you'd recommend, please leave them in the comments so I can get a nice little roster of suggestions to work through in the month of August. I love Edinburgh because you just like, you enter into a day and it's bright blue, gorgeous sunshine, blue skies, amazing. 45 minutes later it's absolutely torrential rain, and then another 45 minutes later you're back to gorgeous blue sunshine, gorgeous blue skies and sunshine. So I thought I'd make the most of the fact that we're in a sunshine stint right now and get out for a post-lunch walk. When I can be bothered, I go for a post-lunch walk. It's maybe 2-3 days a week out of 5, because it is actually really, really helpful for digestion. And sort of 1 to 2 p.m. is generally where I hit my biggest productivity slump in the day. I really struggle to get back into focus straight away after I've had lunch. So having a quick 20-minute walk kind of resets me for the afternoon. So I'm getting out on a post-lunch walk for digestion and productivity benefits, and to enjoy the sunshine whilst it's here. Actually, to be fair, the weather forecast said that we've got sunshine for the rest of the day now. So, I mean, though, to be fair, with Edinburgh, the weatherman just kind of does what the fuck he wants. Or she, or they. Because nobody knows in this climate. Nobody knows. As long as you leave the house prepared for every potential weather format, you're good, you're sorted. Okay, let's schedule the week, shall we? So I haven't quite finished work yet for the day, but I wanted to get this clip done and dusted, so it is motivating me to write my schedule out for the day. So here's what I do. So what I do is get my notes up. I don't really know anyone else who uses their notes as their organizer for the week, but it just makes the most sense to me because I love being able to tick off my tasks, but I don't want to write everything down physically because I want to be able to tweak and adjust timings and stuff. So I write it all down in my notes so that I can then delete it as and when I get through the tasks each day. And yeah, so I have the sort of bare bones of the week on my Google Calendar. So I have the bare bones of the week laid out on my Google Calendar, calls that I've got booked in, time blocked out where I'm doing check-ins or client program updates so that no calls can get booked in that time. But I have a general structure from one week to the next as to what each day looks like. And it doesn't change that much week to week unless I've got stuff going on. But I still love to write it all out so I can then tick it all off as I go through the week. So I won't show you my Google Calendar because that's got like people's names on it, clients' names on it, all of that sort of stuff. But I will show you my my notes as I type it all out. So Monday, I know off by heart. 6 till 8 is the gym. 8 till 12 is client check-ins. 12 till 1, lunch and mentor call, which happens at 12 o'clock every Monday. 1 till 4, client check-ins. 4 till 5, check-in to-dos. So any to-dos that have accumulated off the back of doing the client check-ins. 5 till 6, I will upload a piece of content that I'll be creating today to have ready to go for Monday evening. I will update any trackers that I need updating in terms of sort of business metrics, content trackers, that sort of thing. I will respond to all client messages, and that's it. That is my Monday, pretty much in a nutshell. It very, very, very rarely looks any different to that. So Monday is pretty much like I always forget that actually needs to take a little bit less time because then I have to travel to therapy, and then I have therapy for an hour. And that is a recent weekly occurrence on a Monday. So this is something that I do a lot, is when there are things I have to travel for. So obviously I travel to the gym, but I sort of add that into my gym time. So I dedicate 2 hours to getting to the gym, doing my session, doing a little bit of cardio, like 10 minutes at the end of my session. So I dedicate 2 hours to driving to the gym, doing my gym session, 10 minutes of cardio, driving home from the gym session, and getting ready for the day so I can start my work day at 8 o'clock. So that encompasses all of the travel time, the faffy stuff in between. So I know that I have to get up at 5:30 if I am going to hit that mark, and I always do. That's always my alarm for a Monday and a Tuesday morning. If there's something that I haven't got used to being in my routine yet, like therapy, that's a relatively new occurrence, I'll have to add travel time into my plan for the day so that I don't then just look at my schedule, see therapy at 6, haven't factored in any time to travel to therapy and make myself late. So that's something that I will always do, is whenever there's something that isn't frequent or is a bit of an anomaly, or it is regular but it's only just started coming into routine, I will add time spent traveling into my schedule for the day. Tuesday looks pretty much the same for the most part. So gym and cardio to start the day, check-ins all the way through till about 1 o'clock. 1 till 2, I'll have lunch and break for a walk. I don't really get much of a walk in on a Monday, it's just too busy, but Tuesdays I would always make sure I get a walk in at lunch once I finish check-ins, because by that point on a Tuesday, I am frazzled. Mentally, physically, emotionally frazzled from 40 check-ins. So I'll get out on a walk at lunch without fail. And then I will come home and do my check-in to-dos from the morning's check-ins. And I will also go through every single client's check-in again to make sure that I haven't missed anything that I need to do. Notes on their program for any form feedback that I provided in their check-ins. So on a Tuesday afternoon, I will go back over everyone's check-ins and make sure that everything is completely up to date for each client. And that normally takes me about 2 hours door to door. Once I've recorded everyone's check-ins, I will watch them back on 2x speed. I'm very good at listening to fast-paced talking now. I've had a lot of practice. So it takes me less time to listen back to them as it does to record, obviously. So check-in updates 2 till 4. And then 4 till 6 will be dedicated to editing some more content for the next couple of days, and then uploading the content, updating my trackers, and replying to any messages that I've missed out. And then the evening will look like a walk, dinner, and, chilling out. There's no point adding that to my schedule. Wednesday, same thing, 6 till 8. I normally tend to get my run in on a Wednesday morning. So that's dedicated to run. And then obviously, you know, getting ready, coming home, having a shower. I generally tend to wash my hair on a Wednesday morning as well. So I've got to leave a little bit of time for that. 8 till 10:30 is dedicated to client programs. So this is when I will update either client programs that have come to an end and they need an updated cycle, or clients who are in the middle of a program who need a few adjustments. Wednesdays are generally dedicated to client programs as the main focus point for the day. But on a Wednesday, Kath and I will also have our weekly meeting over Zoom, which is where we catch up on each other's clients, make sure that we are happy with everything, making sure that I'm happy with sort of looking over her content for the week and programming for her clients as well, just making sure that we are always providing the exact same quality of service for each other's clients. And that is every single week without fail on a Wednesday, apart from last week because she was on annual leave, and apart from 2 weeks before because I was on annual leave. But otherwise, that is a standard Wednesday meeting slot. And then I have got a consultation call, which normally they take anywhere between 30 to 45 minutes. So I always give 45-minute time frames just in case they take the full amount of time. And then I'll spend the rest of that hour having lunch and again going for a walk. When I'm back into client programming, and I'll also do client program update videos in this time as well. So anyone who is getting a new program for the week ahead, I will send them an update video talking them through that new program, why exercises have changed, why we've kept exercises the same, what benefit they're bringing them. 3 till 3:30, I then have a client catch-up call. And then I've got a little break from 3:30 till 4. Sometimes I schedule breaks into my day. Sometimes if it is a really chock-a-block day, I just won't bother because I know that I won't stick to the plan and I will just keep working through. 4 till 4:30, 4 till 5, I've got 2 client catch-up calls back to back. 5 till 5:30 will be spent responding to client messages, chasing clients who I think might need a little bit more support from one day to the next. And then 5:30 till 6, we're going to upload content. We're going to get back to, we'll have got back to messages there, but we're going to update trackers, round off for the day. And then I go for a walk, have my dinner in the evening. Again, that stuff doesn't necessarily need to go into the schedule. But if you are the kind of person who says, oh, I'm getting 2,000 steps a day and at the moment I just don't see where I have time, plan it in. Say to yourself, I'm going out for a walk the minute I finish work. The minute I leave my desk, I'm going out for a walk. Plan it into your day if you know that is an area that you struggle with. As you can see, I chunk my schedule down into like kind of hour by hour, 30-minute by 30-minute slots so that I make sure I'm getting the most out of my day. I'm being as productive with my time as possible, but I'm also not working for the sake of it. I'm not procrastinating. You know, I have a schedule, I have a structure that I need to follow if I'm going to get everything done that I say I'm going to get done. And then it's also that external accountability. It's like, well, no, I've proven to myself by writing out the schedule that I do actually have time to get everything done. And if I don't get everything done, I only have myself to blame because I knew that I had time to do it all. I just didn't follow through with it. Thursday is generally dedicated to content creation and marketing and the sort of admin-y behind the scenes type bits and pieces. Again, 6 till 8 will generally be gym and cardio. 8 till 9, we're going to start working on email marketing for the day. 9 till 10, I jump on a copywriting call with my mentor where we, talk through copywriting and go through examples of how to improve our copywriting, so our email content, caption content, and that again is a weekly call that I get so much value from every single week. My copywriting skills have improved so dramatically since starting this call sort of maybe about a year ago, to be honest. So I'll write my own email marketing up there. I'll continue writing up email marketing whilst I'm watching the call, just whilst the sort of creative juices are in that place. And then from about 10 till 1, I will script or brainstorm, script, film, and edit content. Now this is generally Instagram and or TikTok content. So I will dedicate about, it's hard to say how many hours I dedicate to content creation each week because it includes all of those elements, brainstorming, scripting, filming, editing, uploading, I'd maybe say about 6 to 8 hours a week I dedicate to content creation for Instagram and TikTok. That's not even email marketing, that's just Instagram and TikTok. Probably about 6 to 7 hours a week, all in all, including all of those different areas. So that's a Thursday morning. Thursday morning is a very creative morning for me. Again, 1 till 2, lunch and a walk. Again, this sometimes doesn't happen depending on if I've got calls around this time, admin bits that I'm, running behind with, or if I'm in a bit of a creative flow, which sounds wanky as shit, but if I'm in a bit of a creative flow, I'll just keep going. I'll just keep working until I hit that creative wall, because it's really hard to get back into a flow once you've dropped out of it. So I will just keep going at that point sometimes, but generally I will try and get out for a lunchtime walk on a Thursday. And then the rest of the afternoon, I kind of leave free on a Thursday. I put a little question mark because generally what happens is there are things that will crop up through the first half of the week that I'll want to pick up in this time, and I'll want to have a little bit of free time to play with in order to fit things in that I hadn't necessarily factored time in for earlier in the week. So this week my free time was dedicated to adjusting the new free guide that we're bringing out, adjusting a few email bits and pieces, adjusting the automations. I put my free time on a Friday this week. I normally put it on a Thursday, but I had more time today than I did yesterday because of calls that I had yesterday. So yeah, my free time this week was dedicated to adjusting stuff, and so not sure what that free time will be dedicated to next week, but I like leaving it in there, things to crop up naturally through the week that I then say, right, that's my buffer time, that's my buffer space to get those tasks done. Cool, this is a long old bit of video. And then 4 till 5 will be content, uploading, messages, trackers. You know the drill by this point. And also in this period, sometimes I'll go to the gym and do a little bit of cardio whilst I do all of those little admin tasks as well. So Thursdays and Fridays can generally tend to be slightly shorter days for me because I have slightly less to do, or the tasks that I give to Thursdays and Fridays don't take me as long as things like check-ins and client programs. So I can afford to be a little bit more flexible with my time on Thursdays and Fridays until Accelerate starts. So our group coaching program, we complete our client check-ins for Accelerate on a Friday, and they will take me anywhere from 2 to 3 hours, 2 to 4 hours. So on a Friday, a huge chunk of my day is then given to Accelerate check-ins. So that's when that free time will be given over to Accelerate. And also as of September, which I haven't spoken about in this vlog yet, so that's exciting. As of September, I am starting my next CPD course, and it is a whopper because I am enrolling into the Mac Nutrition University Registered Nutritionist Diploma. So in 13 months time, as of September, I will be a registered nutritionist, which is really fucking exciting. It's a course that I've been wanting to do for 2 years, 3 years maybe, and it's just never been the right time because it is over a year long course, and you have to dedicate yourself to it from the get-go. It's kind of like a university course or like a master's course in a sense. It's a diploma, so it's not as intense as a university course. I don't want to take that away from a degree or a master's, but it is still intense in its own right. You have to be ready for it, ready to take on the challenge of it. You can't half-arse it, something like that. But yeah, I'm really, really excited to imagine knowing that I will be a registered nutritionist kind of this time next year. I currently hold nutrition coach qualifications, but this nutritionist qualification is just going to really deepen and broaden my knowledge around the nutrition side of what I do, and it's going to be a bit of a game changer for me in terms of what I can offer clients where nutrition is concerned. So I'm really excited to get started in that. So basically when that rolls around, my Friday mornings will be dedicated to Accelerate, my Friday afternoons will be dedicated to education. So scheduling will be even more paramount from September onwards. Anyway, I digress. Back to Friday. So Fridays are generally a cardio / long walk morning. So I'll get up, have a little lie in, get up, get some cardio in, or get a long walk in, depending on how I'm feeling, and then I'll get cracking with the day. I don't actually have a call until 8:30 on this Friday. So during the 8 to 8:30 period, I'll respond to client messages, which I kind of tend to do in and around these bits and pieces at the start of the day anyway. And then 8:30 to 9, I've got a client catch-up call. 9 till 10, I've got a consult call, or 9 till 9:45. And then 10 till 12 is all about editing the content from Thursday, because I won't have been able to get through everything that I'll have scripted and filmed from Thursday on Thursday. So Fridays are dedicated to that. You know the drill, lunch and a walk. Friday afternoons at the moment are just sort of generally dedicated to admin, so writing up my schedule for the week, setting out some emails that I want to get sent out the week after, prepping content for the weekend, replying to client messages, things like that. Fridays at the moment are a little bit more chilled than they are during accelerate phases and obviously when the nutritionist qualification starts. So I'm enjoying a slightly more relaxed approach to a Friday whilst I have the opportunity to do so, because then I'll generally go down to meet Josh when he finishes work, because he finishes work at 5 on a Friday, pretty much on the dot, so I can have a nice leisurely walk down to meet him and yeah, just kind of have a bit more of a relaxed afternoon on a Friday. And then Saturday and Sunday this next week is going to be dedicated to some family time. We've got family coming up to visit, which will be really, really lovely. I'm really excited about that. So yeah, that is how I schedule my week to ensure that I get all of my training done, all of my cardio in, all of my steps in, all of my work done, and I am as productive as I can be. Obviously, weeks look different from one week to the next to that, but that is the general vibe of what my weeks will be looking like for the next couple of months until September. So yeah, hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully it wasn't just a really fucking boring ramble. Anything that you picked up that you think, oh, that's a good idea, then, you know, let me know in the comments. Cool. I'm gonna finish up with my admin for the day, and then Josh and I are going to go for a lovely little Nando's this evening before I go and collect my best friend from the airport. So I've got one best friend coming in from the airport, one best friend coming in from the train station, and we're going to have a beautiful girly weekend in Edinburgh together, and I'm very excited about it.